Hello and welcome everybody to the Fast and the Furious. I am going to be your GM for this. No. Ah, wait, which chat? Oh no, Google Meets. I'm already unmuted? Uh-oh. I could see myself on Google Meets. There we go. Oh, okay. Technology hating me right away. So, take two. Uh, Hello and welcome to the Fast and the Furious. This is a one-shot based on the fantastic Fairy Corgi Steeple Chase by Varnished Truths. I'm Car, any pronouns, and I have the honor of GMing this crew for you. Now, first, I cannot stress enough how much joy you'll bring into your life if you get the game for yourself on itch.io. It's just delightful. That said, my modifications for the game are to harness the sheer chaos of this amazing set of players by leaning into nay, corgi drifting into the kind of energy that Mario Kart allows me to have. So instead of only myself interacting with the players through the race course I've designed, I've enabled and am actively encouraging these players to interact with each other and you, the audience. Yes, you. They are going to start with two distractions that they could throw at each other's during the gameplay. And they are also going to start with a costume item that'll give them +1 to one of the 4 physical obstacle types that I've included in this course. Those are jump, dodge, swim, or crawl. Now, they cannot earn any of these boons or banes during the game itself, but they can be gifted some extras through donations. So, after all, if we're here for a good cause as well as a good time, let's make sure that they absolutely both happen. Uh, so you'll be able to see the Nightbot commands that'll give you the links. If you donate to gift one of these items, please include the player who will get the boon or the bane, as well as a description of what they are getting. So you can be as vague or as descriptive about the specifics as you like, such as just saying that the player gets a boon or a bane, or you can describe like a very specific type of squeaky toy from a Toy Story movie that was like the aliens from the like claw grabber. Like, go for it, knock yourself out. We'll make it work no matter what. Uh, Now, Amanda Panda Cabra in chat is going to be my awesomest tech today, smothered in awesome sauce. She'll be monitoring the donations and chat because I will be, again, mentioning chaos a lot. And I might not be paying as much attention. So please tag her in chat if you are already a follower. Chat is set to followers only. So you have to follow this channel for 30 minutes before you can chat in there with the rest of us. But you could also like whisper to her and she'll make sure that we pay attention to what you have gifted to these beautiful chaos gremlins. Now I know I said I like harnessed their energy earlier, but that was a complete lie. But if I harnessed anything, it's about to be unleashed. So I am going to start with Maya. Please introduce yourself as the player. And then, if you would be so kind as to introduce your fairy and corgi team within the context of how they line up at the starting line for this race. Now, make sure you describe your utility system as well as what costume item you already have and what obstacle type it's good for.
Okie dokie. Hello. I'm first. Hi, my name's Maya. I use she her pronouns. Was I supposed to say anything about myself or just hop straight into Corgi?
No, say what you want about yourself. Build yourself up, Buttercup. You are fantastic. Say
I
everything.
I'm me. Hello. You can find me on Twitter at Anxious Maya. I have anxiety. This is a great start. I don't really do much, so I'm gonna go straight into the most important thing, which is the goddamn fairy and corgi. Um, so my fairy's name is Lily, and her corgi. I'm sorry, her corgi's name is Micro. Full name Microwave von Barkowave the second. Put some fucking respect on his name. Thank you. And Lily is sitting on, like leaning, sort of like perched on like the butt, on like her little corgi's butt, as her corgi just like sits very proper, very ready. And she's like relaxing and smiling, and she looks very sweet. But if you look in her eyes, it looks like she might stab you. Um, And she, oh god, you said the costume element and her you said one other thing, I swear.
So you have a
Sorry.
utility system for holding the distractions that you already start
Yes.
with. So is
Yes.
that a like belt?
I have, yeah, so you know those like ammunition belts that like uh those like those like belts of bullets that people like feed into those like
Like
Gatling guns?
bandoliers or
Yeah, it looks like that,
is that
except
a
it's
word?
all like dog toys and like clickers and like little treats, and that sort of thing. And the costume element, you said, yeah?
Yeah. So what costume item are you wearing, and what +1 obstacle is that like help is that giving you?
So, can my corgi be wearing it?
Well, absolutely. I expect
Uh,
the corgis to be wearing it, but I'm not saying the fairies can't.
Gotcha. So my corgi is wearing little booties that have like a little bit of like a webbed element. So if we get into any sort of water situation, swimming is even easier.
All right. Who do you want to pass it off to?
Oh
Who's your
yes.
next target?
Can I pass it off to Belladonna?
What up? What up? It's a good thing I wasn't preparing anything at all, and I'm ready to go. Hi. My name is Glyza. I go by they them. I'm a person of many hats. I'm a podcast host. I'm a writer. I'm a variety streamer. I'm a talk show host of a show called Trial Run. Basically, just to see all of the stuff that I'm in, just check out bio.link/classical Glyza, or you can find me on Twitter at classical Glyza. Don't look for me now because currently I'm in a Twitter war with a bunch of people who think safety tools are for losers. So that was not the time to look for me, but you can look for me later. Today I'll be playing Belladonna, and Belladonna is a very she's a she's very short for for her species. I mean, they're already small, but she's very short, and she has a like this big Napoleon complex. And if you mention anything about being short or can't reach or anything, they go a little hard. My the thing that holds my distraction tool is Belladonna's ring. It's like Green Lantern ring, but it like contains distraction stuff. And that's not because I can't find anything else at the moment but my ring on my finger at all. That's this is all planned. And then for Wowzers, his name is actually Williamington Overton, or is it Overton? Whatever. The dog gets to decide what they're how to pronounce that name, and sometimes they can't express it to me very clearly. Uh, and then Walter. And if you ask me again what their full name is, it's gonna change because I'm not gonna remember that. But you can call them Wow for short, and we are Team Wowzers. And for wait, to avoid distractions, Wow is wearing little pogo sticks on his legs, so he can jump not really high, but like high enough to avoid certain distractions. So that's
All right.
what Wowzers is doing.
When we get to the jumping obstacles, we're about to be wowed by Wowzer.
Exactly.
Excellent. All right. Who's your next victim?
My
Your
next
next
victim
target?
will be Pockets. Talk about Pockets.
Oh, hi, I'm Eris. Pronouns are she, her. I make things like TTRPG accessories. Also, I'm moving, so I'm going to be making a lot of things in the next month. You should check out my website at erisavad.com. You can find me on the internet as Stitched by Eris. And today, I am playing Pockets. Pronouns are she, they, and she is a young fairy with dragonfly wings and wild chestnut brown hair that she attempted to put into pigtails. She is just absolutely covered in freckles and wears a sleeveless yellow smock that is covered in pockets. They are currently sitting on Patches, who is a puppy, a tricolored puppy with a curled tail that curls so high when he's excited that it sometimes hits pockets in the face as they're running. We're still working on that. Pockets is checking various pockets to make sure that their distractions are all in place, and spinning the propeller on the beanie that is strapped to Patch's head. He is wearing a tricolored propeller beanie that has stickers all over it. It makes it go faster if you ask them. Let's hear from Fizz.
Oh wait, I think you're muted. Oh no. I can't hear you on.
We can see you in captions.
I
Yeah,
think you are.
Okay, what about now? Is that
Yeah,
better?
there you are.
There you are.
Good to
Okay, my mic has been awful.
Awesome.
Okay, from the top. Hi guys, I'm Vin. I've been Foxbay on Twitter. I'm a voice actor and a tabletop performer. And you see at the starting line is this spunky little teal spike-haired fairy with a chunk of a corgi. That would be Fizz and Pup Rocks. She has some little floaties on her front legs to keep her afloat. So if there's any swimming, maybe she won't sink to the bottom like a stone. But it isn't very like competitive looking. They're just so excited and just blooping Pup Rocks' face. And last but not least, we're gonna go with the spike.
Hello, I'm More Shoddy. You can find me at Twitter at more_shoddy. I believe that's my Twitter. You would think I would know if after doing this for a couple of years, but you know, you never know. I do have a link that's over there. My character, his name is Spike. He's standing at the starting line, bouncing a volleyball back and forth. Like I said, my fairy's name is Spike. He's wearing a sports jersey next to his corgi, who's bouncing the volleyball back and forth. My corgi's name is Set, and we're Team Bumpers. Now, for my costuming, so Set's wearing a pair of brand new sneakers, because we all know when you get new sneakers, you run faster, right? Yeah. But here's the thing. It's not about the running fast. It's about the jumping. Because in volleyball, the best way to score is to jump high and spike. So our best advantage, actually, is over those obstacles, is when we jump over them. Oh, and I carry my distractions in my sleeves.
Well then.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's everybody setting up, so let's get started. All right, so as you're all lining up with those beautiful descriptions, you hear a voice coming in over the like almost like magical loudspeaker. Welcome everyone to my annual cravat crown. 'Tis I, your queen. I hope I need no introduction, or else I have questions like, have you seen me on our money? And what are we teaching in our schools? I mean, I'm not young. I've been around for almost all of your lives. Oh, sorry, I was like, okay, I digress. Anyway, each year I host this race to celebrate the historic battles of yore, where our ancestors bravely rode into battle on their noble steeds. Now, thanks to centuries of hard-earned peace brought forth by said ancestors, I need not for such heroics on a battlefield today. Instead, I challenge trainers, both well-known and up-and-comers, to enter their best teams to race for fun and prestige. And of course, some delicious treats at the finish line, because who doesn't like some snackies? Oh, sorry, distracted again. Anyway, the race consists of obstacles, you know, the usual shrubbery to jump or water hazard to swim, to test the physical training regimen of these pairs. However, you the spectators. Oh, nope, I skipped in my script. Just kidding, I make no mistakes. I'm the queen. It will also include some distractions to test the mental training of these pairs. Now, I shan't be sharing what those distractions are, as that would ruin the surprise. However, you, the spectators, may find out some of the options and vicariously participate in the race yourselves by donating a distraction, a boon, or some combination of such to the racing team of your choice. Please ensure that you write your name on the recipient clearly, or you risk me just taking a guess, or perhaps deploying the distraction for my own amusement. Now, before I get further distracted myself, I would like to turn it over to my announcers and race officials, Holden Tobeans and Pat Me Heartbum. Good morning, Fae folks. I'm Holden Tobeans. And I'm Pat Me Heartbum. And we'll be with you through all of the highlights. Well, as high as a corgi can go, eh, Holden? Oh, quite right you are, Pat. Of this truly exciting race. Now, the course is measured in floofers, naturally, and consists of a series of physical obstacles that our dashing teams must deftly navigate. On top of that, each rider or their corgi is equipped with a utility pocketed item from which they hold a mechanism to distract their competition. Yeah, Holden. They start with 2 distractions as well as 2 energy blobs. Blobs? I could have sworn they were orbs. Now, a very technical term in my parts. Anywho, the blobs are consumed by the team, 1 each for the fairy and the corgi, to boost their energy in case they are feeling a little sluggish at any point in time in the race. Now, these blobs can be earned by exceptional handling on the part of the fairies during the race, but the distractions can only be increased through the participation of the crowd. You, yes, you, can join and participate and be a part of this race. You can help your team get across the finish line first. Now, you can purchase these at your nearest concession stand. Just make sure you write names down. Don't forget, Pat, that they can also choose to gift their favorite team some additional costume items in order to boost their efficacy through a specific type of obstacle. If you see them struggling, don't let them struggle. Help them out. As the queen pointed out, you'll need to be clear about who is receiving the gift, or the magic of getting it to them just doesn't work. Also, please note what the gift is in order to help our stockroom locate the supplies to send along. Now, I see them getting a little antsy up there in the starting gates, so let's not dally anymore. All right, you are. All right, I believe the queen is ready. Yes, of course I'm ready. And I would like to ask the players to please roll your first d10.
I got an 8.
Ooh, starting out strong.
I got a 7. I thought it was a 1, but it was a 7.
Maya's got a 7. All right. I did not think about how I can only see the first letter of who wrote what. Okay, there we go.
My new dice are starting strong.
Look at my pretty dice.
We're the number 1.
It's good.
They're
4.
like
I bought these
blue
brand
and
new
purple, and it's great. I love them.
Ooh.
these fusion toxic dice.
Because I'm gay.
I mean,
Right.
yeah.
All
They're all
right.
like
Everybody's-
clear and almost creamy looking.
Don't
look-
no crunch.
No crunch. No crunch.
Not my stream, not my crunch.
All right.
Gotta munch on the crunch.
So with those starting rolls, we will end up, unless distractions are immediately thrown, we will be ending up with
I don't know.
Team Wowzers at 8 floofers. Oops, I am missing somebody here. I'm a terrible, terrible GM.
That is not true. You are an amazing GM. We
amazing.
just started.
Oh, what-
Maya,
You had-
what did you get?
Honestly.
I don't see. I didn't pick out your.
I got a 7.
You got a 7. Okay, there we are. There we go. Okay, so right now Team Wowzers will be ending up in first, very closely followed by Fury the Small, with a good starting showing from Sugar Rush and Loose Threads, with Bumpers having a little bit of struggle there. So
We have to put our equipment away first. That's the first thing our coach taught us.
So what I want is for the teams that are not struggling at the start. So the remaining 4 of you will be rolling a 1d10 for the first obstacle, which is a jumping obstacle. And while you're rolling that, I want Morshadi to narrate exactly how and what distracted Spike and or Set that they have only gone 1 floofer from the start.
Well, as the starting, is the starting pistol. What do you use to start off the race?
I believe it was actually soundless fireworks, but maybe there was like the rush of the crowd also, and then the queen was just like, just get on with it.
So like everyone had like the starting streamers. They're just like that, and I think that's what. This is the first race of this kind that we've been in. Usually, like I said, we're volleyball players. We're not racers, and we both just kind of looked around of like, wait, what's going on? And we're just kind of circling around. We're actually backwards and just kind of stepping away from the crowd. We actually aren't actually in the race. We're just kind of scared of the crowd, honestly.
You need somebody to chase, and I think that's what you're setting up right now. Is you do best with that motivation of like, oh no, they're going there, so I'm gonna follow.
Yeah,
them.
and I did notice everyone just go. Whoo!
What?
Yeah, everyone's gone.
All right, and then for those who have rolled, I would like you to announce at the lead into you describing how awkward or awesome you navigated over this first obstacle. And we'll start with those in the lead who would have hit first. So, Glyza, I need you to describe how Wowzers handled this very first obstacle, which was a row of dandelions in full bloom that you're trying to jump over lest you set off a large amount of fluff.
Well, as you know, WoW has little pogo stick feet. And WoW is like very focused on this race, right? So as they're running, already the little feet are like jumping a little bit. And as they see this little not little, this like row of things, they get ready to jump over. I don't know if I needed to roll, but I rolled a 10.
You did need to roll, and that 10 actually earns you +1 energy blob
Yes!
moving forward, especially if you added the +1 to
three
that.
energy blobs.
Excellent.
As they're coming near, a lot of people are a little bit worried that WoW is going to jump too high, but WoW has been riding his pogo sticks since they were a wee small pup. Belladonna knew basically like, if my puppy can't fly, they can jump high. That is their goal, and Belladonna has trained WoW to jump really high. And also Belladonna used her wings to sort of glide it over to the other side, so you can see like there are gasps in the audience when WoW almost like it stopped in front of the dandelions and just bounced over, being glided by Belladonna's wings, and we superhero land on the other side. And again, with WoW's training on the pogo sticks, they're able to land just softly enough that they don't bounce up. So again, Wowzer's team is very good when it comes to the jumping stuff.
Oh, wow, would you look at that, Holden? Such beauty, such grace, such a way to start this race. You didn't expect poetry from this one, did you? But you got it. What's that nipping right at Wowzer's heel? Right there, I see that we got the Fury of the Smalls also right at that obstacle. So I need to know how well did Fury of the Small navigate that?
So I rolled a 4. That's not the best, but it's not terrible, you know?
Are you attacking me personally? Is that what you're doing? I'm just saying. I'm asking.
No, that's not what I meant. I'm sorry.
I'm asking. So you know, I can still hear you back here.
No, you can't. No, it's fine. Shush. What do you call it? So, the micro is sort of like, You get the sense that Micro was a show dog before he was a race dog, so he's kind of like trotting a little like slower than he should, and looking very like proper and stylish. And Lily is perched on his back, like you know how like Victorian women rode horses with like both legs to one side. And she like leans forward, gives him a little scritch in the chin, is like, okay, let's pick up the pace. You look gorgeous. Let's pick up the pace though. And he's like, oh, and he like kind of like picks up the pace a little bit too late. And when he jumps, he just doesn't have enough momentum. So we like crest the top of the dandelions and just go, poof. But we like make it, but it's like a hard recovery.
Amazing. Oh, well, that was quite a showing from Microwave von Barkowave the second, looking fantastic. Perhaps a little more grace than skill as they head into this first obstacle, but they still managed it honestly rather lovely. And now we have some nice fluffs floating around. And I want to let both Glyza and Maya know that you could go ahead and roll a second D10 because you'll be heading towards another obstacle coming up. You have a bunch of lawn chairs. You could choose to jump, dodge, or crawl under them. And I will get us through the rest of them while you consider how your corgis want to attack that particular one. So we have Loose Threads and Sugar Rush approaching pretty much neck and neck. So you are essentially simultaneously jumping this row of dandelions. You have a little bit of fluffs going around you right now. How does that impact how each of you is going to be hitting this, well, maybe literally, obstacle? We'll start with Fizz.
All right, so Fizz is gassing Punk Rock up. It's okay, you got it. It's gonna be great. You can do it. It's like just charging him up, and she jumps and just falls because I had a 2. So just like a belly bump into the dandelions.
Almost like just decided to just go through them. Like I can.
Yeah.
Why jump now? And then how is Pockets getting patches through it?
So Pockets was almost ready for this. We were already testing our propeller when we started, and we know it works. So as we lead up, we're kind of going a little bit slower than the Team Wowzers and others, but that's because we are getting that propeller ready. As we're starting to pick up speed, Pockets just starts while Patch's tail is hitting them in the head, starts ducking and pushing the propeller with every duck, getting that thing wound up, and then Patches makes the leap, and the propeller strapped to his head sails him over rather well with a 7, right? That yep.
Yeah.
So in kind of floating amongst the little puffs that were brought up, you can see Pockets riding Patches, tongue out on both of them, and they both look so happy that this propeller is working so well. They land with a little bit of trouble and have to recover just a little bit because they were too into the moment. But they stick it, and they're both kind of excited about it.
And they stick the landing. Fantastic showing from all of our teams, truly. But yes, moving on. Anyway, we have, it looks like everybody will be able to see as our contestants are handling their next obstacle. Because again, this is the land of fairies and magic, so you all can hear our voices. We're projecting. And there's also, some screens up and around. So, in bumpers can still actually see as each of the teams ahead are navigating any future obstacles. So once obstacles are known, all of you will know it's coming up. But yeah, so right now we have Wowzers first, and then Fury the Small are heading up a couple of floofers ahead of that dandelion wall. You are now hitting those, lawn chairs. These are those cheap ones. Those like really like you got them for $5 at like a dollar store somehow, and they're very questionably structured. But like starting with Liza, like is Wowzers jumping, dodging, or crawling to handle these?
Wowzers is gonna jump.
Excellent.
Unfortunately, because of the confidence that the team Wowzers had, it just they rested on their laurels. I rolled a 2, and because of this, instead of like sailing above the lawn chairs, Team Wowzers sort of like you can see that they almost make it past the back of the chair, but then they hit it with their face, and like the lawn chair falls down, and Team Wowzers is like just rolling around the ground, and Belladonna's like, come on, we can do this. Let's get up. But they're currently face planted and just sort of rolling around.
I have to credit one of my friends who play tested for this phrase, but it's like watching a sausage do dressage. Just it still works, but there was perhaps only so much grace that one could expect from that sort of questionable structure that you're attempting to figure out the way to clear or the way to step on, and you did it the best you could. And it's, you got over it and you're ready to go for the next thing. So I think that's an A+ attempt still from that lawn chair jumping. And then let's see, having seen that just behind, does that alter at all what Fury the Small is going to do when faced with these same daunting chairs? Like these are an obstacle.
So Microwave von Barkowitz II has increased his confidence in the last obstacle. He has recalled the purpose of their mission here today. It's not to look pretty, although he does that on his own without having to try. It's to win. It's to be fast. So he's like, I can do this. I know what I'm doing. And Lily's like, oh, wonderful, as he like picks up speed, and they're like charging towards the lawn chairs, and Lily's like, all right, and now jump, Micro jump, and they just crash headlong into the lawn chairs as I rolled a 2. He was a little too confident, forgot about the jumping, focused too much on the speed. He's a man of many talents, but not at the same time. Yeah.
Well, Holden, I gotta say that both teams made it successfully past the obstacle, and I'm looking forward to what they will be doing on the next one. And I think that is, somebody had to be first, and it's always it's. I think that they did a great job. I've tried to jump those chairs, and I have absolutely failed myself, and I actually got stuck in one, if you would believe. Somehow I got stuck in 2, and I only had 1 to start with, so I still haven't figured that one out. And so having made it through those, you two will see that at the beginning, depending on your rolls for the next round, you are staring at a baby pool coming up. But yeah, that actually finishes out our movement for the first turn. So again, we have Team Wowzers in first at 8 floofers along our track. Coming in right behind them is Fury the Small at 7 floofers. Still tied at 4 floofers, we have Loose Threads and Sugar Rush. And we can't forget about Bumpers there. They're out of the starting gate, and that counts for starting the race. So we got Team Bumpers, 1 floofer in, still forward progress, and I applaud them for that.
I've just jumped on my corgi, and I'm just doing that. And it's just not kickstarting. I don't understand. It's okay. It's these kind of movies that I always come back. It's fine. I'll win. It's
good. All right. Without further ado, please roll a d10, every one of you, for your next movement roll. And keep in mind, you should all have at least 2, because one of you has 3 energy blobs in case you need to re-roll.
And then really quickly, how does the costume element affect the roll if it's like specific, if it applies to this?
Yes, so if it applies to the obstacle, you add 1 to your fairy roll. So whatever your roll is, so if you rolled a nat 9 on a roll where you would have a +1, that nat 9 will get you with that +1 an energy blob, as well as you know, you can narrate that you did fantastic as you went through it.
Got it. Okay, cool. Thank you.
What's the next obstacle again? Would you mind just...
Yes, so you 2 are heading towards a baby pool. So you can swim it, you can try and jump over maybe a edge of it, or you can try and dodge around the long edge of it.
Well, I'm going to jump it, because...
And first, what was your movement roll? Because I gotta know how many obstacles you might hit.
All right, so it is, my roll was a 9.
Oh, fantastic. You are definitely in the lead here.
Yes, so I rolled a 9, and since it's a jump, I'm trying to do a jump, my pogo sticks add 1, so it's a 10, right? If I'm not mistaken?
Yes, so you get another energy blob.
I am drowning in energy blobs.
I'm just saying, all of you, the rest of you, all have distractions, and you can throw. Each of you can throw 1 per turn. I'm not saying that you have to. I'm just reminding you of some game mechanics that you might find interesting at this moment in time.
I think I might.
Oh no!
I forgot that was a thing until just now.
That's why I remind you. Yeah.
Thank you. I think.
Oh no!
Wait. So remind me again. I'm sorry. Remind me again what the distraction does. Does it make like a reroll?
No,
Or...
it's an automatic -2 to the overall movement. So it will push Liza's team back 2. And you have to say how you hit their movement. Like, what does your distraction do? And Wowzers will have to describe how they handle that. And I'll help narrate maybe how that affects it. Because the blue shell, that distraction hits immediately, but it affects total distance. So it's just going to somehow eat up 2 movement.
Okay. God, this goes against my core, but Lily wants to win. Okay, so Lily reaches into her bandolier of dog toys and treats and whatnot, and pulls out a perfectly shaped perfect, like, classically shaped dog bone, and it's like a bright red rubber, and she like tosses it in the air, catches it between 2 fingers, gives it a squeak, and then hucks it like diagonal like across, so it will like maybe make them veer a little before maybe getting back on course, but just chucks it like a throwing dagger, like with like it like hits the ground and like bounces and squeaks. Yeah.
And aided by magic, no matter where you are on the track, they will always hit. And again, you could always have it so somebody else throws it for you. It'd be like toss it to a friend and portals happen. But yeah.
Lily just became Diego from Umbrella Academy.
Diego and all pink.
All right, and Wowzers, do you want to describe how Belladonna handles Wow through that distraction being thrown at you?
First, as Wow is jumping over the baby pool at the edge, right? And they're sailing on, and it's going great. And then this thing comes out of nowhere, just out of nowhere, and almost hits Belladonna, but it doesn't. And it just like grabs Wow's attention. It's all the squeaky toys, you see. Squeaky toys are Wow's only weakness. They just absolutely love squeaky toys. So the minute they heard the squeaky, squeaky, squeak, it took all of Belladonna's powers to just sort of like hold on to Wow, as Wow quickly runs over and just like tries to find the squeaky toy just so that it can make the squeaky toy squeak some more. My roll is now 8 instead of the 10.
Uh, so you still get the 10, so you still get the energy blob. All it does is it takes your overall movement back.
Okay.
It doesn't affect how you handle any obstacles. It just takes 2 movement away, so you reach the end a little less fast.
Okay, got it.
And then I think that was we have a 6 on the die for movement for Maya.
That's me, the person who just sabotaged someone.
Yeah, you'll still be heading over that baby pool. So go ahead and tell us how you get through that.
Okay, so Micro loves water. Micro hits the water and almost like doesn't slow down even as they get to the point where his paws aren't touching the ground anymore. His little booties are just so dang cute and they're so perfectly built for swimming. He does slow, but he barely slows as he hits the water and plows straight through it. There is a bit of hesitation though when
Which one
he
should?
hears the squeaky toy bounce in the distance because he like stops and like looks up at Lily like, "Mom, what the hell? That's mine." And she's like, "Come on." So there's a little bit of a slow there, but charge straight through.
All right, excellent. And then Vin, what was your movement?
I got very hot nasty 4.
Ooh. And let's see. We're gonna actually go real quick back to Morshadi because Bumpers still has to get a little bit further from the start line, just a little bit. Although I will remind Morshadi that you have 2 energy blobs at the moment that you can spend to reroll if you care to at any point in time. But you, Morshadi, will be hitting that jumping obstacle of the dandelions. Now, I want you to picture as you are heading towards this, that this is not the pristine dandelion row that it started off as. There are floofs majestically, just like these fluffs are just majestically all over the place. There's a couple of like bent and moved out of the way ones from where others have just Leroy Jenkins right through it. So how are you handling this beautiful, still majestic obstacle? What is your jump roll?
So, jumping is an expertise of Team Bumpers. It's just what we do. And I'm gonna say this knowing that the dice are going to say, you know what? Screw you. Like, how dare you? How dare you be so confident in this? Set and I, like, we both hunker down and be like, ready? Are you ready? Set. And move. And we just charge at it. It's, I don't know I'm not really sure if corgis have visible knees, but you can see it kind of spring action. And it's just one giant like that would be a +1 or a +2 to
a
avoid?
plus. Oh no, so it's a +1 on your jump. So whatever your roll is,
so
+1 is how you handle it. So you've gotten an energy orb. So you should, I think, be at 3 now.
Yep.
And you do very majestically handle this. I would say that like
I think we just go right over it, and I just do like that Superman thing.
Yeah, and I'm
like
picturing
my corgis out front.
You found like the one dandelion that still had fluff on it, and targeted jumping over that just to show that you could, and you did. And I think that was very impressive. Impressive showmanship, truly. So you are also now able to see for yourself with your own eyes the lawn chairs that will be coming up, but you do not hit them this turn. You are only 4 floofers into this event. Meanwhile, though,
now I've gone over a distraction, but can I also launch a distraction at the same time?
Yes. So you went over an obstacle.
Yes,
Those
that's right.
distractions
Yeah.
are separate. So you can launch one distraction this turn if you so choose.
All right. Well, as I'm landing, I see just like the layout where everyone's at. I did, I did see Belladonna get hit, but who's next in line?
Next in line, so right now the standings are at that Belladonna is at 15 floofers, uh, followed by Maya's Fury of the Small at 13 floofers. Your next competitors are Loose Threads at 9 and Sugar Rush at 8, and then yourself sitting very
Okay.
comfortably back there at 4.
As I'm like doing that slow free fall, and I just like see, okay, well, Belladonna's down, Maya's next, and I just reach into my into my glove, grab my vial, and take out some fairy pocket dust, and launch it towards Maya.
All right, and aided by the fact that there's a magical spell on that, ensuring that it will hit its target no matter how far away, no matter how much distance is between you, that absolutely hits. So, Maya, I've just dropped you back to 11 floopers from your 13. How does this hit you right now? Like, what is happening?
So it's like the dust like zooms across the battlefield, magically guided to reach us. And I believe it's supposed to like get in our eyes and slow us down. It does slow us down, but both Lily and Micro treat it like glitter added to a photo shoot. They're both like and they like forget to keep running for a second. They're like, "Oh shit, pause. Okay, cool." And then it slows them a good ways down.
Excellent. Uh, let's see. Let's move to our. We have Eris and Vin. Your teams are about to hit the lawn chairs. They are currently. They're not as tall as they used to be. Considering that they have had very interesting interactions with the first teams that have hit them, and being that they weren't structurally sound to begin with, they might be a little bit lower. But there's still very much a way that you could crawl under them if you would like. You could still dodge around them, or you could also attempt to jump over. The jumps have been demonstrated by the first two teams, so you could also be like, yeah, I like where they were going with that, and I think I want to follow. So if you have a +1 to any of those obstacle types, feel free to add that to a roll on that D10. And yeah, we'll start with Eris there.
Just because we're not doing anything very different this time. The propeller worked great, and so we're gonna stick with what's working. Pocket says, "All right, let's go. You ready? You ready? You ready?" And we take off, and I rolled a 6, and I have a +1 for the propeller. So once again, we fly right over kind of corgi paws just touching the edges of the lawn chairs as we lift up and over, landing a bit neater this time.
Excellent. And given that neat landing, you don't even need to take a breather as you see that baby pool that you've also heard and maybe caught glimpses of on the magical screens in the sky. And you will also be hitting that baby pool. Again, you could swim, jump, or dodge it. You could feel free to roll and figure out how you want to narrate that while we see how Fizz is dealing with the lawn chairs. Like, how's Sugar Rush doing this?
All right, so Sugar Rush is going to try to dodge these chairs, but they dodge like a wrecking ball with this 4. So it's just chaos, just bounding through the plastic and tumbling.
Absolutely
And
took out more of this chair for sure. Yeah,
destruction, but cute destruction.
it is. You know what? That chair it should have been able to withstand a series of very, very excited corgis, honestly.
We're
And
product testing.
yeah, truly. And we have some notes, I think. You know, it forces the whoever owned this chair to actually go out and get a decent one after this, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, and let's bring it back to loose threads. How are they handling this baby pool?
Okay, so I'm actually going to edit a little bit of my last thing instead of landing, because I was like, well, let's jump it again. We got 2 distractions at once. Let's just keep flying, right?
Yeah.
So I rolled an 8 plus 1. That's a
Ooh.
9. So instead of landing, we just fly right over both distractions. It's almost magnificent to see a corgi fly.
It really is. Is the corgi at all holding like a feather? Like, you know, maybe has bigger
No,
ears.
I really fully imagine corgi is like mouth open, tongue to the side, like slapping pockets in the face.
Corgi's having a great time. Pockets.
Yeah.
Ah, God, what?
Yeah.
All right, and I'm just picturing that like you're absolutely just that a shadow is cast on Sugar Rush as they're just, you know, dodging and just absolutely taking out this chair on behalf of Team Bumpers, who will eventually get to it. And just, you know, sort of have like an over under excellent side shot of this race as the two of you still very close to being neck and neck. And as we round out this round, we have Wowzers in first place at 15 floopers. I should be talking in one of my fun announcers. So we got Furriest Small coming in second place right now at 11 floopers. Don't discount really close trailing there of Loose Threads at 9 floopers. That's only 2 floopers behind, folks. And then just 1 flooper back from that is Sugar Rush. And then Bumpers is also here at 4 floopers into the race. They have successfully, I would like to point out, made it through one obstacle, and that is absolutely something worth cheering for.
This entire crowd, I feel like, is against me, and I'm going to prove you all wrong, all of you. And so, you know, I've changed it to Godly Corgi, my background.
I
Right.
appreciate that so
Yeah.
very much.
Godly Corgi is behind me. I just want you all to know.
Godly Corgi, though, is not going to prevent you from having to re-roll. So do your next round, everybody. This is a 1d10 for movement. Nobody has done a nat 1 yet, so this movement is your movement. And hopefully we can see that the Corgi God smiles down on Team Bumpers as you get a little bit further along. All right. Ooh, we are getting there. Excellent. Oh, this is amazing. I am seeing such wonderful movement. There are no losers in this race, because even the ones that are behind are staring at butts that are heart-shaped. And who doesn't appreciate that? All right, and then Glyza, what's your movement roll here?
It is a 6. Yes, I rolled a 6.
Oh my goodness! All right.
I will. The energy blob is a reroll, right?
It is.
I will use one of my 4 energy blobs to re-roll this roll. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna do that again because it fell
And
down.
no matter what, you take the highest roll. So
it is a 9 this time.
Glyce is here to win. I'm just saying, like, Wowzers is here to wow all of you. So
Also, I was wondering, can we do? I can also do like distraction stuff, right?
Oh yeah, you can just tank everybody. Just one. You can only tank one person per round,
Okay,
but you know.
who's behind me right now? Who's like near?
Everybody's behind you.
Oh wow!
Have you heard anybody else reporting a 9 twice on their movement rolls?
I am all right. Who's the nearest to me right now?
God.
Got
But
Corgi right there.
aside from
Right?
that, so you are currently sitting at 24 floopers.
Well,
Your next closest competitor is Furia the Small at 17 floopers, followed by Loose Threads at 15 floopers, Sugar Rush at 11 floopers, and Bumpers finally getting in the game here at 10 floopers.
Again, with the shade.
We haven't done any movement
I have
yet, so
always
if
been in the
anybody else
game.
wanted to,
Same.
turn in a reroll, feel free.
I am going to actually can we use distractions to aid someone? I'm in a very
You know
weird
what?
generous
Yeah, there is absolutely no reason not to. This is I get to tell you that yes, you can do just about whatever
Wait,
you want to do. So
And now we bring in an element from like Blades in the Dark and Las Vegas. There's a flashback scene between me and Belladonna.
Yeah. Basically, there is a flashback scene where Belladonna's like best friends with Spike and is like seeing Spike so far behind. It's like, well, I can't let him win, but I also can't let him lose this badly. So
I need to let him have some dignity.
Wow.
Just a little bit of dignity.
Wow.
Belladonna looks and like gives Spike like a clear like eye contact connection and sends out temporary magical wings that would give Spike like just enough movement to be near or at least between Pockets and Fizz. Or I don't know who's in front first.
I'm gonna flip the distraction to being a +2 since you're aiding. So this does get you by giving a +2 to Bumpers that instead of being one floofer behind Sugar Rush is now one floofer ahead of Sugar Rush. And so the standings are, again, you're closest to God here at 24 floofers is Wowzers. At 17 floopers is Furia the Small. And then Loose Threads is 15. Bumpers is 12 and Sugar Rush is 11. So we are close for second. That's as close as it's going to get right now if people aren't going to just start hitting one very specific player with distractions. Or
that brings
re-rolling.
me to what I wanted to do, and I didn't
Go
want to
right
interrupt
ahead.
anyone doing it. While
Absolutely.
you are looking back and having that moment connecting eye to eye on Spike, Pockets pulls out bacon from a pocket and throws it past Wowzers to try to, or past Maya, or past
I'm gonna say the bacon
try
gets
to
almost, like,
land a
wrapped in,
little
like,
bit.
a bubble there.
Yeah. Ooh, I
and
like that.
can get delivered magically to exactly only the
You know
team that
what?
you want it to.
Can I edit that, because I
Absolutely, you
like
can
the
do whatever
bubble
you want.
idea. I pull out a bubble wand and blow bacon scented bubbles your way.
There we go.
Just far enough while you're looking back and helping someone else. I'm distracting your puppy.
And as a result of those bubbles, Wowzers, how do those bubbles just distract it? Wow there, and just sort of make him circle around for the equivalent of 2 fluffers. Floofers. Glyza, how does the or it could just be that like I'm gonna take that as a cue that Wowzer just stood there and just staring at them like I don't know what to do with these.
Yeah.
I popped them,
Pretty
it
much. That is
disappears.
what Wowzers did. Just stared at the thing and just like, huh? Huh?
Yeah,
Goes
and
goes
then
to sniff them.
bacon scented bubbles pop on his nose.
Yeah. And it's
Like,
like what Team Wowzers did was so what was done to Wowzers was so distracting that even Belladonna was like, bacon, and it's just like running after all the different bubbles to just pop them, to be like, bacon, 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 bacon. So
a mood, honestly. I would like if there's bacon, if somebody in chat can make this a thing, like please send it to me. I would appreciate the hell out of that. So, all right, so we have our movement. Keep in mind if anybody else wants to throw a distraction, you can throw it. If you have not already thrown one this turn, you can still throw it. Just cannot be in the middle of somebody successfully navigating a obstacle. We can narrate it afterwards. So I think we're gonna have to start somehow getting you know Glyza through some of these obstacles that Team Wowzers is hitting. So I need to see if you can roll for crawl. We're heading towards the fence to head out of this backyard, and there is a hole to go under the fence. If you roll like you have been and you get a 10 plus, you will notice the doggy door. But anything other than a 10 or on your anything other than a 10 plus for a fairy's roll for crawling will have to crawl under a hole after finding it.
okay, let me roll it now. Ha! Sorry, I did roll. I mean, I rolled a 10. Like,
so you found the doggy door, for sure. You also get another energy
duck.
blob.
Look
Yeah,
at
that's adorable. You will find the doggy door, and you can go ahead and narrate that now. And I will be counting the obstacles that everybody else is going through and making sure that they
Awesome.
see what's coming up.
Awesome. So the bacon bubbles were actually a blessing in disguise because as 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 WoW is like just following all these bubbles, some of the bubbles like for whatever reason found I'm going to fake physics it, and like some of these bubbles were like finding an escape through the door. I don't know. I don't know how bubbles work. And it was somehow magical bubbles. They're magical bubbles, and it led to the doggy door. And Belladonna's like, I bet all the bacon is on the other side. That's why we're smelling all these bacon. So Belladonna's like, let's go. And Wow is like, all right, but like dog bark. It just sort of like pushes through the
Amazing. And you know what? I'm realizing as we're heading into the beginning of the obstacles on this round, there's quite a few that everybody would have to hit, but we are about time for a bio break. So I am going to take advantage of that. We'll put a pin in where we're at here, and head towards a 5-minute bio break. 5 minutes, come back and catch the rest of the action. We'll be heading into the second half, and eventually somebody has to win. There's maybe a very strong favorite, but that could change. And again, that could change based on some donations, just saying. So we'll see you back Welcome back, everyone. We are just absolutely tickled to be here, and I am so happy that we're doing this. We were heading into the next round of obstacles here, and we're just gonna kick it off and go right back into it. No segue. I want to try and catch up with the people in the back here before we get back to the blessed dice that Glyza possesses. Give everybody else a chance.
Dice. These
she's
are
tried-
cursed dice now.
We got cursed dice on the table now. We'll see if that evens things out.
I won't even put it in my mouth because putting it in my mouth apparently blessed them for whatever reason. Because
You're lucky.
in my mouth, but that's not a non-cruncher. I'm totally team crunch. Say crunch, whatever. But today I won't put this dice in my mouth.
Meanwhile, Morshadi actually eating a snack. I thought you just popped your dice into your mouth and just straight up chewed and swallowed it. I was like, no, why? Anyway. All right, folks, let's get back into things. It looks like we got a tight race there at the back as we can catch up now with Bumpers. Got a little bit of a boost there, like a little pat on the behind. Nope, we're just not gonna say it. We all know what the pun is there. It's my name. And we'll see how Team Bumpers. Oh god, it broke myself. Bumpers, you're dealing with things. Deal with your obstacles while I deal with this. No.
Choking on the dice.
Oh no, it took
Ate
us
the
all out.
dice.
Shoot,
I was
we gotta let
choking on
Bumpers
him.
in.
You crunch and you choke.
You know what? The only person breathing right now of the people in the back and the GM is Vin. So Vin, let's do Fizz.
right.
Navigating through the baby pool.
Okay, here's my roll. Big money, no whammies. I'm gonna use my reroll real quick. So one of them's. Let's try that again. Okay, that is so much better. This is what we were built for. We were made to do. Pup Rocks has her little floaties on, and she is paddling like a champion. Just a little.
Their butts moving too.
Yes. Oh my goodness. It's
Yes.
like a little propeller going back and forth. If you ever seen a heart swim, that's what's happening. And you get straight through that, and you got 2 more floofers that you are managing after that, and you're sitting again at 11 floofers into this race. And seeing how Pat could not handle announcing for Bumpers, we're going to move back to Holden and see if Holden can narrate with Bumpers' navigation through a lawn chair and then the baby pool shortly after. We believe in them. And see this team boogie.
After we landed, we see just like these towering lawn chairs coming at us. And I think what we're end up doing is, because we always keep a bouncy ball next to us. It's a little taller than we're used to, but what we do instead is I toss it ahead of us, and Set gets really excited. Sees that, jumps on top of the ball. Everyone just kind of squishes down and gets that little extra push.
What additional damage is about to happen to these chairs?
Well, I do get a +1 because of my shoes and everything. But that would be a 2. I think I think Set was so excited and excited, especially to see Belladonna. They haven't seen each other in a long time. But he didn't exactly hit the ball exactly how he was supposed to, and I think they just, how sometimes you step on a ball and it goes right out from under you. I think that's what ended up happening, and it just right into it instead.
The chair is just not, it's completely just broken, flattened. It is not just physically destroyed, but this chair is actually now emotionally wrecked as well. It is a shadow of its former self, and it it longs for the recycling that it is headed towards, but that chair is about to poof itself out of existence because it just can't anymore. And it's just glad that that is all of the corgi pairs that are going to go through it. Because it's been through a lot. But you all did. I mean, you took on that chair and you all won, and that chair did not. But yeah, so you are now also heading towards the pool. Will you be swimming, jumping, or dodging this pool?
We're all just kind of drunkenly running up to it. Let's go! And we jump again. Because that's what we do in volleyball. We jump and spike.
Tell us more about your specialty, and this is how you do.
See, this is why you don't make declarative statements in RPGs.
Listen, you can't get anywhere if you don't like definitively state where you're going. It's just at a certain point in time, if that's not working, we might need to change tactics.
So at a certain point, life flashes before everyone's eyes. Not Spike's or Set's, everyone else's, because they see Spike and Set just heading towards this baby pool, and everyone knows that feeling of that one time where you just didn't jump off the pier right.
Oh, yeah.
And you just feel that, oh my god, yeah! And you hit that water just, boom. And that is exactly what happened. And it wasn't Set that got hit. It like Set, their little feet just like tripped over. It went backwards. And Set landed on top of me. I'm underwater, wondering what the hell is going on. Because now I have Set trying to swim back upside down as we're heading across this baby pool.
I think
I have a corgi who's doing the backstroke.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where the corgi can't quite, so somehow it's like the elbows and like more the tail than anything. So like underwater, you're just like going back and forth as you're like, we could just try and right ourselves, but or not. Just holding your breath, waiting until you get to the end. And I think like more like instead of trying again to flip around, Set just sort of like flops backwards and just takes out the back edge of the pool. It empties it of water, and once again you are like, I'm not here to like clear these obstacles, I'm here to clear these obstacles. Like these don't exist when I'm done with them. And you have now just 2 for 2 taken fully out those obstacles in the backyard. And yet you right yourself. I'm just picturing maybe Set is also just further just taking Spike for a ride with shaking off all the water when they're done, and you still manage to get one floofer ahead of Sugar Rush. You're ostensibly neck and neck there, but only one of you has a kill count on your obstacles, which we didn't know we were going to have, but some excitement every year at this race. And so both you and Sugar Rush, Bumpers and Sugar Rush, have cleared again those obstacles and are heading towards, but not quite at, the fence. You have seen a couple of other teams go under them. Or you've even seen somebody find a doggy door and you're like, I gotta see if I can find that again myself. So we'll head over to, I think, Maya and Aris. We have Fury of the Small and Loose Threads now heading towards this wall themselves. How, starting with actually Aris, how are you clearing, how did you handle this wall?
Let's see. Let's roll. Oh, I'm actually gonna I'm gonna eat a blob to get a reroll.
Oh yeah, those exist.
I'm enjoying that you
You
forgot
said
them.
we take
It's
the
enjoyable.
higher of the
Yes,
two,
you
right?
do.
Okay, cool. Because I rolled a 2 and then I rolled 1. So we're gonna take the 2 to try to crawl under the fence.
I think you succeed. I'm gonna say that. So, just for everybody to actually see how each corgi is handling it, magically, this fence for the spectators and for the teams that have already cleared is actually transparent. And so, what everybody else sees is like smushed nose, like sniffing around, trying, like, so you think it's a magical doggy door that you might be able to hit. And so, you're just like trying to go through and then just sort of make your way over to and find the hole and crawl through that.
Yeah, very, very much smashed face along
like-
the thing. There's like a line of drool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know what? Again, you make it through. You did not let that wall win. And I'm really excited to see if that wall is going to stand in another round. But while it still stands, Maya, how's Fury of the Small handling that wall?
All right. Fury of the Small is gonna re-roll. Cause I also got a 2. Come on, baby. All right. That's an 8. So I think Fury of the Small does a, like, you said there's a hole under a fence and there's a dog door that you can only get to if you get a 10, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the hole under the fence, can I jump the fence?
No, it's a very tall fence. This is
Dang
like
it!
this is a fence meant to keep like those very energetic dogs that can jump.
Not a corgi with baby legs. Cool. Micro, like, tucks in and starts running like a greyhound, except with little baby legs, so it still looks really funny and cute. But it's just going like so fast, and then like right before we get to the opening, he like tucks his legs in and goes into a slide, and Lily goes flat on his back, and they just go zoop straight through the hole.
That was one of the most beautiful things that I've seen. Fantastic. Well
Lily from
done.
a distance goes, I know.
Very, very smashing style from Microwave von Barkerwave the second. Sorry, Micro. I hope one day that I can call Micro my friend. But that was a fantastic show all around.
I have a quick question.
Absolutely.
Can we see Belladonna?
You can see anybody everywhere, so yes. But can you see Belladonna? Currently you can, but you're about to see Belladonna hit one more obstacle that you are not going to reach this turn.
Can I do a distraction, or do I need to wait?
You can do a distraction whenever you want.
Okay,
Yeah. Do you want to try and take 2?
Yeah. Lily...
Encourage. I'm going to also just remind the audience that they cannot refill their distractions unless they get donations that give it to them. So if you want to see more of this chaos brought forth to bring this race tighter.
How many distractions do we get?
So you started with 2.
Okay, cool.
And then you could, and then you could only throw 1 per turn.
Gotcha.
But I'm not really tracking that, so
I think I already did just 1. If I'm not.
Yeah, I did 1 also. I'm tracking. So Lily, like, they like slide under, they come out of the slide, like Lily sits up, pulls a you know those like ball launcher, like gun looking things, like for tennis balls. She, like, in a very like fluid motion, they slide under, she sits up, she pulls a tennis ball launcher out of her pocket, she smacks her bandolier, pops the tennis ball out, loads the gun, aims, fires, and shoots a tennis ball off to distract Wowzers.
And Wowzers, how is it that Belladonna or Wow reacts to this tennis ball that is now in front of them? Does I believe you were having fun with bubbles before. Yeah. But yeah, like now that you're through that fence, cleared the bubbles, now.
is still thinking about the bacon bubbles and seeing this green tennis ball appear out of nowhere. Somehow, WoW connects that into, hey, maybe if I break this bubble that seems to be a lot more solid, there will be actual bacon inside instead of just air. So WoW is running after this tennis ball, and Belladonna, normally very smart, very focused and stuff. Well, she remembers the bubbles too, so she's like, "Yeah, let's go chase after the tennis ball. Maybe you're right. Maybe there is bacon in the middle of this tennis ball." So that is how WoW and Belladonna are very much distracted. The tennis ball is running after it. Yeah.
I mean, we're in the Feywild. Anything can be bacon, honestly. So you never know until you try. And so that distracts Belladonna for a little bit. But I think it also it ends up being just a little unfortunate that that does keep you on course. And so you've lost 2 floofers. And that brings you back to a total of 20 floofers is your current standing. But you still are making it your way to the tree roots that are the next obstacle. Because we're on a path. We exited the yard. We are trying to make our way. You will now all recall that we are making our way down to the lake because the actual ending of this is a lake party, a little beach party at the lake. And so we have 2, maybe 3 obstacles left to go, and we're trying to get to 30 floofers total. So that is, if there's blessed dice still, if the cursed dice are not actually cursed, there's still maybe 2 rounds of movement for Team Wowzers here. So just keep that in mind. But those thoughts are in your head, Wowzers, as you get to these tree roots. And they're those massive kind of beautiful tree roots that are partially out of the ground. Some of them are just, more of an obstacle that you have to jump. You might just try and stay close to the ground and dodge around them, a little bit like a selective pinball, or you can find those ones that are above ground and sort of created an obstacle that you're gonna have to dodge. So again, your choices here are crawl, jump, or dodge to get through these tree roots. And so we'll have everybody else can see again all of the upcoming obstacles and obstacles that are hit. So we'll roll for Wowzers to see if you want to crawl, jump, or dodge these tree roots.
I will jump. I'm actually gonna parkour over the roots.
Oh, perfect.
Just to see. Well, we'll see if that actually happens with my roll. But that is what Wow Team Wowzers is gonna try and do.
I'm rooting for you, Belladonna.
This dice is cursed. I got a 1. So
okay, so just to let you know that 1 will mean that the next movement roll you will subtract 1 from that overall movement roll at the start of next turn, but it is not an immediate one.
So if I might describe what had happened to Team Wowzers, is like, how sometimes in ping pong machines you see like the not ping pong, what is it called? Pinball machines. The balls, they just go ding, 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 ding. That's exactly what happens with Team Wowzers. Because what happens is WoW jumps, hits a root, and basically the hitting of the root is so strong that it just bounced back. And every time, basically Wowzers, WoW specifically, is almost like a cat always lands on their feet. In this case, this is a bad idea because every time they turn, they hit another tree trunk, and then it just goes up until they're at the very top, and then it's gonna fall. And Belladonna's like holding on just to make sure. But WoW did not. WoW is a bit heavier than Belladonna, so it's a little bit of a, instead of a big fall, it's a slow descent. That does take a little bit of time after being pinballed up and down, but that is exactly what had happened to Team Wowzers.
All right. And that brings us to the end of that round of movement. So again, our standings are that Wowzers is in first at 20 floopers, followed fairly closely now by Fury of the Small with 17 floofers that they've made it through. Next up is Loose Threads at 15, Bumpers at 12, and Sugar Rush at 11. So go ahead and roll your next D10 for the next round of movement.
I would like to say that my initial 1 for my first movement score, we didn't deduct a 1 for my next movement score, so actually we're both at 11.
Oh.
So, I just want...
There we go, neck and neck.
Neck and neck.
Did you get a 10?
I got a 10.
All right. Oh, we are very close with a lot of these. Oh, so close. So we have 2, 8, 10. Oops, there's 3 8s there.
Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah. All right.
I tore off an ear.
No.
No. Oh well.
Oh, the upset standings now for this.
I might have to return back to my original blessed die, but we'll see. We'll wait until it's a little bit closer.
Yeah, you're gonna allow them to catch up before you
Just a little bit.
pull the rug out from under them again. Amazing.
This is a good
This
tactic
vine
to use.
mustache is tickling my nose and it itches, but it looks fantastic, so I'm not.
All right. So our standings as of this roll, with no distractions thrown, is that Fury the Small is at 27 floofers, so very close to the 30 that we have set as our end point. Followed immediately at 26 floofers by Wowzers. Then at 23 floofers is Loose Threads, and neck still are Bumpers and Sugar Rush, both at 19 floofers.
Where's Spike?
Yeah, Spike is getting there. Spike and Fizz are just right next to each other, maybe being encouraging, maybe smack talking. We don't know. We're gonna find out shortly. But what I'll have for each of the players to know is that so again, Bumpers and Sugar Rush, you two are neck and neck through 2 obstacles. So you're gonna be going through that hole in the fence, and you're right now also going to be hitting those tree roots. So you'll have 2 rolls and consider how you want to narrate through them. What life choices are you gonna make for your team? And then Loose Threads, you're since you were already through that hole in the fence, you are going to hit the tree roots, and you're very close to the next obstacle, but not quite there. Meanwhile, both Wowzers and Fury of the Small are, Fury of the Small first has to navigate the tree roots, but then you both are going to be hitting a stream that you can either swim through, you can crawl through a drain pipe that you might see off to the side, or you can try and dodge and jump rocks to get across of it. And then there is maybe one more obstacle that Fury of the Small might meet if they don't get blue shelled. So we'll start again with the teams in the back here, bringing them up to speed. We'll start with Bumper this time. Bumpers, how are you handling this hole in the fence? Mind, you're about to hit it at the same time. You might be trying to fight each other for getting through this hole in the fence, you and Fizz on Sugar Rush.
So I think that there's like totally a Fast and the Furious moment. I got Fizz coming up on one side, and you're just like looking at me. On the other side, there's me. Just after that pool, Set was a little tired. They were backstroking, so that's actually on my back now, and I'm running. and I just give you like a look, just like a mean, I'm coming after you look, and I'm veering straight for that. Now this is a hole in the fence, you said, right? There's no jumping on this one?
There's no jumping on this one.
No jumping? All right.
I mean, you could try, but I will say it's an automatic failure. So if you want to narratively do that.
Listen. Nothing says that if I get a 1 on this one, I might just tear right through it. So,
honestly,
I have destroyed every other one. So, maybe I'm going for a score here. I don't know, but I just did throw away my other one. It's over there somewhere, so maybe not. I think I'm just gonna do a burst of speed. Now, here's my question: distractions. Mm-hmm. They can only be thrown to one person, or can they be a mass distraction?
If you make me a good argument for a mass distraction, I will allow it if the people that it would target are both very close to each other.
Okay.
Which I suspect there's 2 people you want to target, and they are.
Well, the mass distraction would be a dog whistle. So.
Well, this is a magical world, so it's one of those. The dog whistle I can maybe have it as in like an area of effect, and then I'll allow it to be anybody within 3 floofers of each other.
Okay.
In which case, would you be aiming for the front 2?
Yes, I would be.
So I need for Maya and Glyza, you both need to narrate how that dog whistle has distracted and taken you back 2 spaces. It does mean that Maya does not reach that 3rd obstacle, and it does put Glyza 1 back from the obstacle that Team Wowzers was gonna face.
Cool, that's fine. The dog whistle sounds exactly like Wow's mom, and is like, my mom was calling, and that's why Wow is like, I gotta go to my mom, and sort of like, I don't know if I'm able to reach Lily, but with consent, if you want, what Wow will do is sort of like run in such a way that sort of like trips Lily a little bit. That way, it's still related to the dog whistle, but that is basically like Wow is gonna be like, oh, my mom. And
I love that. I'm totally down for that. Wow crosses in front of Micro, and Micro's like, hooah, and kind of like spins to see what they're going to see, but also is like, I gotta keep running, but also is like, that's gotta be something exciting, and has like this moment of indecision that slows them down.
Amazing. All right. So knowing that you've now successfully thrown that distraction, you still have to deal with that wall. Don't think I forgot. You still have to deal with that wall.
What are you talking about? I'm not. What are you doing? So as I take out this, cheeks blown out and everything, I just grab Fluffers and just kind of launch him forward, and I just go right in after him. That would be that would be a simple 3.
You know what? I'm gonna hold off for 1 second on narrating that, because I would like Vin for you to roll for how your team navigates handling this wall, because if you roll poorly, both of you together are taking out this wall. But if you roll successfully, you get through before some serious damage impacts that wall.
Corgi God said you should just let us go through.
Exactly. I think that sounds very fair. Yeah. Guess what I rolled?
I don't know. Is it my birthday? Yes. Okay. Thank you so much, because it's not that you guys it's not that these teams didn't find this hole under the fence. You saw everybody else go through. It's naturally. But as a result of, I think, Fizz, you navigated Pup Rocks to get there first, but then you weren't expecting to be just thrown a fastball in the form of Set. And now there are 2 corgis plus Ryder at top speed trying to get through this hole in the wall. And what ends up happening is that's just a lot of stress for the wall that saw what happened to its 2 prior obstacles, gained some form of sentience in the form of self-defense, of just like, I think I should be worried about life, and then is immediately proven right. Like, you know, briefly had sentience before being taken out by both of these teams. And you did, as a result, technically make your way through this fence by making your way through the fence. And as a result, team effort is that both Bumpers and Sugar Rush have taken down the wall, and it's not a problem for anybody anymore, and are through. Now you are heading quite a few floofers there, a set of floofers to get to the tree roots, but you're following close behind everybody else. I would like for each of you to roll for that tree roots, but don't tell me what it is yet, because we're going to have you watch what happens when first Maya, and then oh no, we already did Maya through the tree roots, right? No, we didn't. Okay, yes. So I want to know how Maya makes it through the tree roots with Fury the Small, and then I want to see how Pockets and Patches on Loose Thread also get through those tree roots. So each of you, D10, and we'll start with Lily on Micro.
Okay. Yeah, that's just an 8. That's an 8. Sorry. For a second it looked like a 0 and I got excited and I got it. Oh, I describe it.
I can describe it if you want. If you just tell me, are you jumping, are you dodging, are you crawling?
It's fine. The boots come into play here in a way that was not expected. Having a little extra traction with those little booties on the paws helps as Micro very parkour-esque jumps from root to root and just like bounces their way over.
Amazing. All right, and then how does Team Loose Threads do on this?
Got a 9 with jumping. So as we come up to it, we're kind of shaking the slobber off from our intimate meeting with the fence, and we're hitting that propeller and getting it going and getting it going and getting it going, and again, just another flight straight over, just kind of pawing at it every once in a while. We'll hit a root and lift up off of it. As I'm going though, I realize that Lily is I'm getting close. I'm getting close. And I saw how well glitter worked. So out of one pocket, I pull out and just sprinkle over them pocket glitter, so it just rains down from above.
Amazing.
Immediate
and
posing.
yeah, so who's the pocket glitter going to hit?
Lily.
Just immediately posing. Immediately like stops everything. Micro like puts a paw up and like turns, and Lily goes like and they just take a moment to just like bask in it before they remember that they're in a race, not a photo shoot.
Amazing. And that does allow there was a bit of neck and neck going on there for Wowzers and Fury the Small, where Fury was 1 ahead and now they are 1 behind Glyza's Team Wowzers. And let's see, you do get a few more floofers ahead of that obstacle of the tree roots jumping. And as a result, nobody else hits any more obstacles for the rest of this turn, because that did take the leads back from any of their obstacles. And you hear a brief little like thing of the queen coming on and just being like, "This is taking way too long. I am very hungry." And I would just like for all of us to get to the finish line. And you just sort of see like a change of scenery occur very rapidly. And the tree, like the next obstacle is gone. Like there's no stream. You are now ported, like almost like everybody went a little bit fast forward. And the only thing that you're staring at is the last obstacle, which is the lakeshore. And you have to run past the lakeshore while, you know, a little bit of a wave motion is happening. There's some birds flying. It's a little bit of like, you know, something that you could either dodge through or dodge around, or you could try and swim through that portion of the lake. So you have jump, swim, or dodge as your actions for coming up to this lakeshore obstacle. But go ahead and roll our last d10 for movement, because no matter what, somebody is crossing the finish line right now.
I apologize. This is the last roll. I'm gonna put away my cursed dice and roll with my big dice.
I rolled a 10.
So did I.
I rolled a natural 9, but I have a +1 in jumping because of my pogo sticks, and I
This is
pogoed.
But this is for the movement die.
Yeah, this
right?
is for the
That's
movement,
We
so
still
it's just
have
9.
distractions.
All
I still
right.
have
That's true.
one distraction.
I'm using my last reroll. Okay. Got an
I-
8. That's better.
I also used my last reroll and it was worse, so 5.
Amazing. So that's 5.
Wait a minute, did I get an extra energy blurbo because I got a 10 that one time?
You did.
I have another one! Wow!
Go for it. Do it.
I'm not gonna
Alright.
use it again though. I want to save it for the distraction.
You don't
Reroll.
need the blob to roll for the distraction. So the blobs are just purely for rerolls now. So add to the chaos. And then
Wait,
ooh.
Could I use the blob to re-roll if I roll bad on the distraction?
Distraction just happens.
Distraction just
Oh.
happens.
Like
My
a
bad.
bullshit.
I'm re-rolling. You'd think I'd understand how the game works. It's worse. It's worse. We're sticking with
Somehow
the
just
5.
consistently getting worse. All right, and then let's see, Fizz, you got was that an 8?
Yep, I got an 8.
All right. Oh, this is going to be exciting. If anybody has distractions, I highly recommend you use them because we're about to have a photo finish of 2 teams coming in first here. Right now, if no distractions are thrown, both Loose Threads and Wowzers are going to cross the finish line at the same time. And then followed by Bumpers, surprising comeback with Fury of the Small just behind Bumpers and Sugar Rush right behind Fury of the Small. So if anybody, and I mean you, audience, if anybody wants to also gift distractions to mess up these standings, please do. But otherwise, we will start going ahead. Actually, I'm going to take just 2 seconds. Do any of you want to have pleas to the audience to get a distraction through here? I will give you 1 minute.
Mine.
Okay, I'm gonna give.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Sorry.
sorry. Go ahead.
No, you first. I don't know what I was gonna say. I lost it.
Okay.
Now.
Yep.
Muted.
You're muted, but
Audio went out
this-
again.
at the same time, the visual was, I think,
The
perfect.
visual was super
like, please.
meaningful though.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think so.
Oh man.
You're back. You're back.
I felt it though. I felt it.
I felt it deep in my heart.
I heard you just then.
Yeah, you're back.
Okay. Oh, wait. Okay. Let me do this again.
No, it's gone.
It went out again.
I think
it's like
the
when
mic
you make your voice go higher
I think
pitch.
the mic is just making
Yeah,
it
I
so the
think
only dogs
it's
can
my
hear.
voice because that's all it is. It was my
That's-
voice, and I guess it peaked, so you
Yeah, I
can't
think you
hear
were
it.
speaking
The
to the
mic was-
dogs. Like you're speaking to the dogs in
Yes.
the audience, and it was only the frequencies they could hear.
But they
Um,
can
It's
understand.
preventing the
cowardly.
clip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very cute.
That one we heard. That one we heard.
Yes,
and now
we
it's
heard
gone
that
again.
one.
Now it's
Why is it?
It's just like no.
It doesn't want us
No,
to be this
it's-
cute.
What is
For the
wrong with
audience
this
of the
mic,
dogs.
bro?
All right, that broke our hearts, broke our mics, and I'm not sure. Amanda might tell us that we got some last minute distractions in. If any of you have distractions that you want to throw, go ahead.
I do have a distraction.
Amazing.
Yes.
Will you be hitting the person who would otherwise be coming in first with you?
Yes.
You're like, yeah, I'm winning.
Whoever this is yes. And my distraction is how shiny my little pogo sticks are. You know how some cars have like shiny rims? These are shiny pogo sticks, and it's been like deployed. They're flashing, and they have like little laser beams. Like they're just adorable. That is, I point my little magic ring at the pogo sticks
it
that
just
are
happens.
acting as wheels, and it's
All
like,
right.
distract
So,
mode.
With that distraction, and that's the last one that I believe is thrown, therefore cementing the standings, I need you to just tell me no rolls unless you want to roll for flavoring. How you get through the lakeshore, what's your chosen course, and how well are you getting through it? And then tell me your photo finish as like just quick pose of how you are getting through. And that way we'll head into closeouts shortly after that.
What happens is, because of the flashing lights that are like the laser show that's happening with the pogo sticks, um it does give WoW this energy boost, and everything that's happened in the race, they just sort of flash back to it. They remember the first dandelion jump, the hit on the face with the lawn chair, the pinball up and down thing. They remember it all, and then they basically just jump across the lakeshore, and they practice this with Belladonna. It's a big practice that basically when they jump, Belladonna sort of like switches places with WoW, and basically Belladonna, short and small as she is now sort of like holding Wowzer WoW up, while WoW is just sort of like showing off their butt, because it's their, it's a dog. Like dogs love showing people their butt, and it's a heart butt, and it's shaking, and that's the photo finish of me just arriving at the front thing. So I hope that helps.
I think it did. And there is a last minute distraction thrown or given to Morshadi that you could choose to deploy. I did tell you a possible standing change that could occur if you throw it, but honestly, you could throw it at anybody else because there is a first place winner. And since the distraction comes in after that narration, we are not taking back the winning crown there.
All right. So that distraction, I just want you all to know, in full clarity, I gave it to myself. Mainly because, not because it would actually net me a win, but only because how could I not have and throw this distraction? Spike, seeing everyone in front of them, has to try, at the very least, Pat's set, like, you ready, boy? Yeah, okay. Gets on Set's nose, gets launched up into the air, pulls out from nowhere of an invisible pocket a volleyball, and just the biggest anime, like, ah, and spikes it at loose threads.
Playing Corgi Haikyuu.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
Corgi Haikyuu.
this doesn't actually hit loose threads. This will land in front, right in front, just enough to startle you.
Oh, of course.
And now the two of you are tied, heading into the finish line. Now, what happened as soon as Belladonna and WoW crossed the finish line is that all of you, again, just like the distractions disappeared. It's just a straight shot in the order that you are going to finish, about to finish up. And so now it is that crossing the finish line at the same time is loose threads and bumpers. And then I'm just going to narrate that the rest of you come in as well. It is going to be that Furia the Small comes in very quickly after them, striking a beautiful pose, and then Sugar Rush right afterwards, almost like you're still just chasing, like, and just beautiful posing as we go through. And so as we finish up, oh, well done, everyone. Uh, I, you have put on a jolly good show, but especially Belladonna and Williamington Overton Walter. If that is still the three names, then whatever it is that makes up
It's
WoW.
Williams Ontology
Oh, yes.
War
I've just
Room now.
heard an update. Williams Ontology. You, engravers, do you have that? It's just etch it out. You have magic. You can change the name. Fine. Anywho,
Just wipe it.
you two make quite the team. An excellent showing from the rest of the group as well. Adulations for all. Now for the most important part. Snackies. The biggest snack and the comfiest of dog beds goes to the winning team because, of course, you won. There has to be something that you get for winning. Otherwise, it wouldn't be. But, you know, we can't all lose when it's the most adorable race out there. Like, it's so fiercely adorable that there are no losers, but there is a very distinct winner. And you also will want to keep the fancy cup that your snacks are going to be served in. Naturally, it's gold. And as you may have heard, the Royal Engravers are finishing putting your names on there. If the names change again, just honestly just hit them up and let them know. It is their job to make you happy now. So yeah, they'll have to do it if you say it. So yes, race is over, blah, blah, blah. Party time is what the really important thing is after announcing who wins. And therefore, I would like to ask each of you, as you're going into your outros, to describe how your pair is enjoying this party, this after party at the beach, and then outro yourself as we close up. And we will start, I guess, in reverse order with Morshadi.
Well, obviously, Spike is, well, pleased the not at the back of the pack. Not so pleased that he didn't win. So he and Set are at the beach volleyball set, and just playing back and forth over the net. But being very positive and reinforcing to each other. It was like, good job. That was a good bump. Just going back and forth, but not really being a part of anyone else. This is the first time, and he's very uncomfortable. And no offense, but like there are a couple people here who are very mean to Spike. Looking at you, Lily.
I think that moves us over though to Vin. What is your pair doing?
I mean, Pop Rocks and Fizz, despite their placement, they are just conked out on the beach. Pretty pleased that they got to participate. Nothing sore. They're just out. Again, as for me, I'm Vin at VinVoxVA. Check out my Twitter for like auditions and casting calls and announcements and all that. I'm also a Game T affiliate. I keep forgetting that. So if you go to gamet.co.uk and use the code VinVoxVA, all caps, you get a little discount and I get a little something. So check that out.
Awesome. That brings us to Aris.
I think that the loose threads they're tied for second. Ain't bad. So they're definitely celebrating, probably kicking a ball around, and Patches is following around WoW, waiting for their legs to start glittering and shining again, just like they did before. We saw that. That's why we didn't come in first. So now you have a shadow waiting for your legs to light up again.
And what are you up to, and how can we find
Oh
you?
yeah, I'm Erisavad. I make things. You can find the things that I make at erisavad.com. I have an update coming on Tuesday at noon Eastern time with a bunch of patchwork stuff. Go figure. I had patchwork on my mind this week.
It was intentional, clearly. It was
Totally.
part
I
of
was
the advertising.
coordinating so that like
Yeah.
this game could lead up to like, hey, by the way, you like patches? I've got bags and stuff coming.
Amazing. And Glyza, go ahead and tell us what your pair is up to.
Belladonna and WoW are probably like partying, moving from one person to another, hanging out with their friend Spike, even though their friend Spike is a little bit sad. But basically, they spend the time, you know, as winners, just showing off their little bowl, their little cup, and it's like they're very good at being a terrible winner. So they're terrible. They're showing off they're terrible. But they do have a secret. So they go hide somewhere when it's quiet, and they finally remove their pogo stick legs. And this is the first time they've removed it. And underneath those pogo stick legs, there's just another pair of pogo stick legs. It's just tinier and like just to get used to it. Hi, I'm Glyza. I go by they them. Today I played WoW from the Wowzers team. I'm a person of many hats. I'm a podcast host, I'm a writer, I'm a variety streamer, I'm a talk show host of a show called Trial Run. It's a show where I interview different TTRPG personalities, creators, players, GMs, and everything else in between. I create a character with them and run them through a quick one-shot. Speaking of TTRPG personalities, I am one as well. To see all the stuff I'm in, just check out bio.link/classical Glyza. Or, you know, just look for me at classical Glyza everywhere else. I did create an Instagram account, so I'm there now too. Yay! But don't look at me on Twitter right now, because Twitter currently is a shit show, because people are being shits to me on Twitter. But that's okay. I'm fine. But I am occasionally hilarious on Twitter and always a delight, so just follow me on there. But, you know, wait a little bit, I guess, until it all dies down. But yeah, Classical Glyza is me. Hello.
And then Maya.
I think that Lily and Micro have like this moment where they cross the finish line and they're both just like utterly in shock that like they thought they would at least come in second. They were in second the whole time. And then they see that the way that the sunlight is hitting the water on the lake, and they're like, ooh, that would be a great place to take some photos. And they run over and they start frolicking in the photos and completely forget that they did not place as highly as they wanted. And there's like a flash, what's it called? Like a screen, like everyone jumps and it freezes. Freeze frame. There's like a freeze frame.
Yeah, there we go.
And my name's Maya. I had so much fun. Thank you so much for including me. I use she, her pronouns. You can find me in most online spaces as Anxious Maya. I have anxiety and sometimes I'm around on the internet. And mostly I'm just like extremely happy to have been here, and thank you all for playing with all of us. And Car, thank you so much for being such an amazing GM, and thank you to everyone who donated. This was so much fun.
Awesome. And then before I do my brief outro, Morshadi, did you even talk about yourself, or were you just like super focused on like how awesome your pair was doing at playing volleyball?
Oh, everything's all about Spike and Set.
Okay.
Especially because we bump things. Hi, I'm More Shoddy, at more_shoddy. You can find any of my stuff at moreshoddyplays.games. I'm not currently running anything. We just finished our Nahua game, which will, the 4th episode actually will be posting. We recorded our last game. And then after that, I am free for a while. So, you know, I run PBTA games. If you want me to run a PBTA game on your channel, let me know, because I will. That's it for me.
All right, and then so the queen is just walking around paying mostly attention to the dogs, but is congratulating each of the winners and telling you that you were wonderful at your race. Meanwhile, the two announcers, Holden Tobeans and Pat Me Heartbum, are also going around glad handing everybody. Holden is just delighted with, I believe Micro and had said earlier that they wanted to be Micro's friend, so you might have a candidate for taking those photos for you for pretty much the entire night if you so desired. But yeah, everybody is just having a blast and just fawning all over each and every single one of these teams. I'm Car. I've been having an absolute blast with this team of players for this. This was my very first time GMing ever.
Did really
so-
well.
Yes,
Yeah, I'm
thank
like,
you.
Did
So-
amazing.
enabled, fully enabled by these beautiful chaotic gremlins. And I love each and every one of you for it. I love everybody out there in the audience for also contributing and making it super special as well. Thank you so much for the donations. And again, please check out Fairy Corgi Steeplechase that I used as the starting format for this game. You can find it on itch.io, created by Varnished Truth. So please, please bring joy to your life and go check that out. And since I normally am a lurker, I think you see that in my bio is just sort of like, hey, you can find me just boosting all of these folks normally. So I don't really do much other than show up here right now. And that was enough.
Well, we need more of Car running games and playing games and being on the streams of games.
I will do my best. And on that note, thank you all so much. It's been wonderful. Have a great day and come back again for the next show in like not too terribly long. So honestly, don't leave. Don't even leave. We're going to leave, but you should stay. Love y'all. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.